Honorable Senator, you may proceed to ask the question.
Thank you very much, Honorable Speaker. My question is question 001. If you'll allow me, I start with question A. Could the Cabinet Secretary explain why Tari Adi, Dub Gindole, Dogogicha, Isako Muro, All Gabraskim, Saleswa Rio, Konso Banchale, and other villages in Marsabit County remain without electricity connection despite the installation of electricity transformers in those villages? Question B, what steps has the government taken on operationalization of all electricity transformers installed across Marsabit County? Question number C, would the Cabinet Secretary also indicate the level of access to electricity in Dugoba, Garkarsa, Wario Duba, Manyata Konso, Karatina, Kofiambaya, Parkishon, La Cartiña, Nasikakwe, and in Marsabit County, and explain why the government is doing so, what is the government doing in achieving full electricity coverage in those villages? Question D, Honorable Speaker, what is the status of requests for installation of electricity transformers and extension of electricity connection in Ilpus, Kituruni, Kubibagasa villages in Marsabit County? Thank you, Honorable Speaker.
Welcome, Cabinet Secretary, and please you can proceed and answer.
Thank you, the Honorable Speaker. First, for your indulgence, I was supposed to have been here first thing in the morning, but I did agree with my colleague, CS John Mbadi, that we swap the times because he had some other engagement elsewhere. Honorable Speaker, before I go to the specific questions raised by the Honorable Senator Mohamed Chute, let me make some general statement that Marsabit County is among those counties, especially in the northern corridor and parts of coastal region, that have for a long time suffered historical marginalization. The county of Marsabit, among other counties in that region, have been left behind by the successive administrations since our independence. And this has made them not to be able to compete effectively with the rest of the country, and especially on matters electrification. And that's why this administration, under President William Ruto, has taken a deliberate step to ensure that affirmative action is applied to bring parity, to achieve equity, insofar as development is concerned generally, but specifically to ensure that matters electrification is dealt with in an equitable manner. Honorable Speaker, therefore this administration has adopted a multi-pronged approach, and specifically for Marsabit County. This entails, first and foremost, ensuring that Marsabit County is connected to the national grid. We want to ensure that Marsabit County is connected to the national grid for the first time since independence. And how? One, by constructing a transmission line 45 kilometers from Loyangalani Wind Power Farm to Loyangalani town, a project that has delayed inordinately, but a project that we are now able to commit that come December this year shall be complete, and we shall commission it. Honorable Speaker. Honorable Speaker. That will enable Loyangalani town and its environs to enjoy power, quality, affordable, and reliable power for the first time from the national grid. Honorable Speaker, it is not conceivable that power can flow all the way from Loyangalani wind farm, all the way from Loyangalani to Susua, here in Narok, bypassing the entire swath of Marsabit land. It's not conceivable. And that is what we want to correct under this administration, Honorable Speaker. Honorable Speaker, secondly, we want to unlock the very, very important transmission line project that runs all the way from Loyangalani to Marsabit and equally from Isiolo to Marsabit. By doing so, we shall actually make it possible for power from the national grid to extend to most parts of Marsabit County. That project, which is being financed by Exim Bank of India, is at the tail end of actually conceptualization. What has delayed it a bit is just the matter of the scoping, which had to happen. And we are more than convinced, because as we speak, Exim Bank is going through the paperwork. And we are more than convinced that before the end of this year, we shall do a groundbreaking. That is another commitment I want to make to not only Senator Mohamed Chute and not only the people of Marsabit County, but to the people of the Great Republic of Kenya. Honorable Speaker. Honorable Speaker, Marsabit County, which is comprising of 4 constituencies, that is Saku, Moyale, North Hor, and Laisamis, has got one of the most interesting disparities, if I may call it so. Because in terms of access to electricity, Saku, because of its sheer size, it's the smallest of the constituencies, is seen to be having a high access, about 60-something%. Yet, when you go to the extreme side, extreme end, North Hor and Laisamis, it is 1.2% and 1.8% access rate. That is serious, massive disparity that this administration has made deliberate plans to address through the efforts we have put in place. Honorable Speaker, Marsabit County has been deliberately placed among the 14 counties that are benefiting from the Kenya Off-Grid Solar Access Program or project, the COSAP. And Marsabit County alone has benefited or is benefiting from about 1 billion shilling worth of those projects. About 10 mini-grids covering across the width and breadth of the county. Okay? And some 6 or so boreholes. Honorable Speaker. So allow me, therefore, and I've already spoken to my good friend, the Honorable Senator Mohamed Chute, that I will be engaging him further offline, over and above this formal presentation. I'll be engaging him further, together with other leaders from the county, to ensure that we fast-track these projects. That is one of the commitments that I have to make before this Honorable House. So therefore, Honorable Speaker, allow me, and I don't want to actually belabor the point, because I have already submitted the answers. On question number 1, which is question 60 what? In the order paper. Okay. That's fine. I'll just proceed. In terms of reasons why those areas that have been listed, okay, remain without electricity connection, despite the installation of electricity transformers in the said villages. Honorable Speaker, REREC, which is our implementing agency, has mapped out and undertaken preliminary works, that is survey and design, of a number of the areas for the implementation in the current financial year, and others for consideration in the next financial year, of course, subject to budgetary provisions. And details of the actual status of the areas are shown in the table 1 in my response. I don't want to belabor that. Honorable Speaker, part 2, the steps the government is taking to operationalize all the electricity transformers installed across Marsabit County. I want to say that a total of 8 schemes are in different stages of metering in the county. And upon completion, approximately 800 customers will be onboarded. And all the associated transformers will be commissioned in order to realize the benefits anticipated by the government of Kenya. In addition, some parts of Marsabit County have witnessed insecurity cases, which has caused movement of people and hence leaving the already installed transformers fairly idle. The government is engaging various stakeholders to foster peace and restore normalcy. Part 3 is about access levels of electricity to those areas mentioned in that question, okay? And what the government is doing to achieve full electricity coverage in those villages. Again, in line with what I've said in my opening remarks, Honorable Speaker, the status of electrification and electricity access in the above villages is as shown in table 2 of my response, Honorable Speaker. The identification, scoping, and electrification of unelectrified areas is an ongoing activity until universal electricity access is achieved. We don't want a situation where we talk about universal access by 2028 or 2030, Honorable Speaker. And yet, many parts of the country, especially from northern Kenya, are left far behind. So that is what we want to correct. Part 4, Honorable Speaker, the status of the requests for installation of electricity transformers in those 3 villages. Honorable Speaker, the status of electrification in the above villages is as shown in table 3 of my report, Honorable Speaker. And that is as far as the first question is concerned.
Thank you very much, Cabinet Secretary. Senator Mohamed Chute, would you prefer to ask your second question and then ask supplementaries thereafter? If we can combine the questions.
Thank you, Honorable Speaker. Let me ask my second question, and then I will ask my supplementary questions thereafter. Honorable Speaker, my question number 068. A, why has the last mile connectivity program not been implemented in the entire Marsabit County, despite similar programs being successfully rolled out in most parts of this country? Question B, what steps has the government taken to ensure Loyangalani, Kargi, Kor, Forole, and all other areas in Marsabit County without electricity are connected? C, could the Cabinet Secretary provide details on funds allocated for last mile connectivity projects so far in Marsabit County, the contractors involved, and the project timeline for their completion? Thank you, Honorable Speaker.
Cabinet Secretary.
Thank you very much, Honorable Speaker. Before I respond, let me just make a clarification. I did mention about the transmission line project from Loyangalani to Marsabit and Isiolo Marsabit. It is being financed by the Exim Bank of China, not India. And the company which is contracted is the China Water and Engineering Company. Thank you. Honorable Speaker, the first limb of the question is about why the last mile connectivity program has not been implemented in the entire county, despite similar programs being successfully rolled out in most parts of the country. Again, an issue I've talked about at length in my opening remarks. But let me say this, that since the inception of last mile connectivity projects, the government of Kenya has implemented a total of 29 projects worth some Kenya shillings 30.1 million and connected 1,466 customers to the grid in Marsabit County. The details of the connected customers across the various constituencies is as shown in the table 5 of my response. And Annexure 1, which is attached, provides the breakdown of ongoing projects in the county. So the steps the government is taking to ensure Loyangalani, Kargi, Kor, Forole, and all other areas in Marsabit County without electricity are connected. Again, Honorable Speaker, the status of electrification in the above villages is as shown in Table 4 on page 7 of my response, Honorable Speaker. Part 3, details of the funds allocated for the last mile connectivity projects so far in Marsabit County, the contractors involved, and the projected timelines for their completion. Honorable Speaker, over and above the completed schemes, the government of Kenya has allocated some Kenya shillings 4.5 million for last mile connectivity via grid solution as per the table on page 7. The target completion date is Q1 of the financial year 25-26. The government of Kenya has further allocated Kenya shillings 2.0579 billion, approximately US dollar 158.3 million, for connectivity via off-grid solution, as per the table on page 8. The sites are currently being handed over to the various contractors, and the target completion date is the end of financial year 25-26. The annexures 2 and 6 provide a breakdown of all projects funded in Marsabit County at various stages of implementation. Honorable Speaker, I submit.
Thank you very much, Cabinet Secretary. Senator Chute, supplementary questions?
Honorable Speaker, I'm really impressed by the CS, and I don't have any further supplementary question. I will follow whatever questions I'm going to have. I'll be having a meeting with him, maybe on Tuesday, and thank you very much, Bwana CS. I really appreciate what you've done. You've done a very good job. Thank you.